you get that edge, and a lot of the time that comes from that mental preparation piece.
The parallels between sport and law are actually legion.
Like pressure's an opportunity, it's something you can harness.
At the heart of law is relationships, and the heart of relationships are people.
Hi, I'm Alex Coles. I play professional rugby for Northampton Saints and England. I've been playing rugby since the age of 13 and now lucky to call it a job. I think the big thing that people don't see or maybe understand about being a professional rugby player is all the stuff that goes on off the pitch. Mental preparation as well is a massive part of the game that people might not realise how much time is spent in terms of tactical analysis, but also, like I said, that psychological point of the game which can really give you that edge. When everyone's doing their weights, everyone's doing their training, how can you get that edge? And a lot of the time that comes from that mental preparation piece. It's multifaceted preparation. The primary one would be the team training, so you're practicing what you want to do in the week, you're practicing your habits, practicing the behaviours that you want to see on the pitch. Alongside that, there's your physical preparation, your work in the gym, your nutrition, your sleep. And then there's the mental preparation which goes alongside all of that. For me, I would always try and have a couple of emotional drivers for the week. What's going to get me out of bed? What's going to make me put in the hard yards in training and in the game that week? Whether it be, the last game someone might play for Saints, you want to put on a performance for them. Whether it might be a local rival, what's going to be my emotional driver for that week? I would also have a couple of technical reminders that would be particularly important for me. 2 or 3 short, snappy little reminders that will hopefully stay top of my mind when the pressure's on in the game. Recently I've really sort of come to try and understand that pressure's an opportunity, it's something you can harness. When I was much younger I'd get really nervous and I would not enjoy that pressure. I'd kind of try and almost push it to the side, and now you kind of acknowledge it, you embrace it, you realise there's pressure because you care. It gives you that energy, it gives you that extra 10% of speed, that extra 10% of hard work. You let it build you up, you use it, you embrace it. I think rugby provides, and team sports in general, provide so many transferable skills beyond sport. There's 15 of you on the pitch, there's 23 of you in a matchday squad. How well can you as a group build a culture? How can you build connections between people to enable that team success? You've got to try and align all those goals, connect with each other, and I think those people skills are invaluable.
The parallels between sport and law are actually legion. The requirement for careful preparation, absolutely central to what we do in the law. Being able to collaborate within the team, supportive of each other, being able to work in a culture in which we recognise and value each other is very important, and that we see on the pitch. If you're a professional sportsman, you're having to make decisions under pressure, and you're doing so in circumstances where you have to evaluate risk. That's what we're involved in the law. We're having to evaluate risk for our clients and to be able to work under some intense pressure and the conditions which require us to be able to respond very quickly and intelligently.
There's plenty of things I'm really interested about law and have made me consider it as a career. I enjoy the analytical side of it, really enjoy looking at a problem. You have a few principles and you're trying to apply them in real life, you're trying to work out solutions. It's something I like doing on the rugby pitch with the lineouts, a technical area like that where you're analysing the opposition and then trying to figure out solutions, and I can see elements of that in law when you get a case and you're trying to work out the best way forward, consider different options, work with people, collaborate on a solution. I think that's something that I can find really rewarding, with that collaboration, that ability to work with people as well. I love that in a team sport, so I wouldn't want to have a career where I'm stuck on my own. I want to work with people.
Well, a number of things I think that make are particularly helpful for a good solicitor, and curiously they all begin with age. Humour can actually make a difference to our clients. Essentially we're dealing with relationships, whether it's a business or a private client, and having humanity is a sense of being able to understand the client's position and the challenges that they're facing, and being able to put yourself in their place and understand their situation as you walk the walk with them. Honesty is taken for granted often, but when I say honesty, it's not just about telling the truth, it's being able to be direct with your client, being able to tell them actually straight things that may be unpalatable, being able to do that in a way that has that humanity to help them understand their position in a way that actually is sympathetic. Being able to be committed to the work that you're doing is important, and that means hard work. actually making sure that you put in the effort, put in the graft. There are many routes into the law now. You don't have to have a law degree to start the process. You can learn on the job. You can come from a completely different subject area, as diverse as science or languages. They all bring different dynamics to the law which are really helpful.
I'm really excited, a bit nervous about the transition after rugby. I want to keep playing for as long as I can. It's such a great job to have. Sun's out shine like this, I'm looking out onto the main team pitch and thinking how grateful I am that, you know, my job's to run out there in front of, you know, some amazing local fans. I think there's also loads of exciting other opportunities in life. I've always, you know, loved being able to put my brain to work, find challenges, find different tests. While it can be quite nerve-wracking, the idea of doing something different, I think it's also exciting being able to have an opportunity to jump into something different, test yourself, develop some of those skills even further in a new environment.
At the heart of law is relationships, and the heart of relationships are people. And here at HCR we have a passion for people. We invest in people. People are really important to what we do.